guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Reef Subaru in Tampa, Florida, and I have one of those cars that if you want muscle car performance, this definitely brings some. This is a 2019 Camaro SS. But before we get into this V8 powered muscle car, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Chevrolet Camaro, it's been around since 1967. It's been doing tons of battles against the Mustang, which is the original. It's been around since 1964 and a half. And of course the Dodge Challenger, which has been around since 1970. Now what's fascinating about this Chevrolet Camaro is that being an SS, that stands for super sport. So what that means is you're gonna get that extra performance. Even going back to 1967, when you see SS on a Camaro or really any Chevy product, it would mean extra performance. Now, the great news is there's many different trims that you could get your Camaro in, and with this particular one, it kind of brings some extra value. So what I want to find out is, first of all, did they get it right in 2019 with the style? Because remember, this is that 1 year where the front end of the vehicle is different from any other year. And second of all, when it comes to best bang for your buck, are you better off going with a base Mustang GT? Are you better off going with a Dodge Challenger RT? Let's dive into this 2019 Camaro SS and find out. Right off the bat, it hits you just like getting punched by Mike Tyson right in the face, this front fascia. So this was the first year of this refresh. You can see the work that they did with the headlight housing. You have your LED daytime running lamp, your projector beam style headlight in there. It does say Camaro, little tiny touches actually labeled in there with the name Camaro. There is a lot of gloss black, like a lot. You have it not only underneath the headlight housing, but then all the way across. What's interesting is that you do have a massive side air curtain, and there is other functionality to this corner vent. Some light metallic flat black on these horizontal bars, some flat black here, and then the previous owner of this particular one added a massive front lip splitter that's full carbon fiber, which gives it that nice aggressive touch, especially with this dark gray metallic that we have. Now, as we come across the center section, this is where, when I first saw it in 2019, Chevrolet had me really scratching my head. I zonked it back then. I'm gonna have to zonk it again. This setup here, I get it. They wanted to bring the flow tie to the SS. Remember, they originated that on the 2014 Z28. So you do have the functional flow tie, but the way that they put it in the center here just does not make sense to me. I'm glad that they went away from this, but just something that, hey, who knows, maybe down the road, this might be one of those collectible Camaros since it is a one-off. You do have that SS badge. Remember, super sport doesn't mean super stupid or super smart, super sport. And then you are gonna have massive functionality up top and down below. And I see the direction that they were going in. They were trying to evoke some ZL1 style into the front end of the business on the Camaro SS. Now, when you get up onto the hood, the SS gives you a unique hood. Body lines start on the front fascia. You do have a slight bulge. Muscle car means some of that bulge, and you do have power to go with it. There is a functional heat extractor. The problem that I have with it is I wish it was just a little bit wider, kind of went a little bit further towards the windshield, but it is functional, so that is the good news. And that is a new functional heat extractor for 2019. It wasn't just the front end, it was also up on the hood. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with when you go SS? So you could see you have that split spoke design on the wheel, 20-inch wheel. You are gonna get the 6-piston Brembo calipers, flat black, and you are getting, of course, fully ventilated rotors. Working our way down the side, I do like the classic Camaro badge. This really goes all the way back to those early muscle car days. And then what's nice is you're gonna get color matched everything. Color matched mirror caps, color matched door handles, and the shark fin antenna. Really, from a styling standpoint, a lot of brands, when they show a concept vehicle, it doesn't really kind of translate into the production model. That's one of the things that with the Camaro, when they brought it back in 2019, the concept car really carried over, and that has its pluses and its minuses. Obviously, you got a very, very low roof line and not tall side glass, which can create such an issue with blind spots. But if you use your mirrors and move your head, you should be able to navigate okay with it. Now, working towards the rear, you'll notice that we actually go a little bit wider. Still a 20-inch wheel, we actually go a little bit wider. 275s on the rear. You do have 4-piston Brembo calipers. Sometimes manufacturers just put a standard sliding caliper on the rear. And then coming to the tail end of the business, you are gonna get this simple trunklet spoiler. Not my favorite. It is pedestal style, and the reason why I'm not in love with it, it actually reminds me of a spoiler that would be on a vehicle back in the 1980s. So kind of feels a little dated. And then this was also not only the first year of the refresh up front, but out back. This has grown on me. This is the part that has grown on me, and I have accepted this version at the back with the smoked out taillights, LED, SS badge, just like on my ZL1. I don't know why they put it here, so I am gonna zonk that. It would be nice just to put it up there, and you are gonna get that quad tip exhaust that's gonna give us some nice sound. And one of the things that I still don't understand why they didn't do, there's no actual like rear diffuser area. They even give you these fake vents on the corner, which that just has me scratching my head. But let's go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Camaro SS. All right, guys, you got the hood popped. Underneath that hood, you are gonna get that 6.2 liter pushrod V8. Now what's interesting is that this one has the GM Performance open air box. It's kind of cool how they put this little window here so you can see that performance cone filter and the massive size of the intake tube that leads us to that throttle body. Now the engine cover is very bland. I wish they would have done something a little sexier, but what is sexy is that massive strut tower brace. Now what are we talking about underneath that bracing and that plastic cover? You're looking at, like I said, 6.2 liter V8, 455 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque. Another new thing, if you're looking for something unique, something new, is this is the first year you could get the 10-speed automatic. So you get 6-speed manual. This one has the 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. And that's just your standard Camaro SS. Quite remarkable with the performance. You can't complain about that. Quarter mile is gonna go by at 12.1 at 118 miles an hour. Top speed is 165 miles an hour. The car weighs 3,788 pounds. MPGs, 16 in the city, 27 on the highway. I think that's one of my favorite things about this setup is that old style pushrod V8. When you compare it to the Mustang GT that has a quad cam engine, those overhead cam engines. And when you compare it to the Challenger, one thing that you're definitely saving on is weight. This is on that Alpha chassis, little smaller chassis than the original 2010 Camaro. Saves some weight, helps with the performance. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this Camaro SS. 1 year only with this setup. I know many of you are saying, well, Joe, this has been really the toughest decision, trying to figure out what is the best value price for my muscle car money. I've always liked the Camaro. I know it always puts a big smile on your face. How much is this one? So asking price on this particular one is a tick under $40,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panel. So on this particular trim, this is your base SS trim, so you're gonna find a lot of hard plastic. So I am gonna zonk it, especially compared to what the competition is bringing. The metallic flat silver kind of brings just a little bit of style to the door panel. Armrest is on the smaller side, but it is soft, and you do have a door pocket there that is large enough for 2 Pop-Tarts, and that is it. Going from the door panel to the dash, simplicity is the name of the game. You do have hard plastic. I am gonna zonk that. I even zonk it on my own Camaro. I do like the simulated leather that they have here with the stitch work. And then probably out of the bunch, this is the best infotainment system. And that may not be saying a lot compared to the competition, but it really is a standout. GM does great infotainment systems. Easy to use, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, clear graphics. It's a nice touchscreen. You can get in your climate controls and do it on the screen. My favorite is the backup camera, which they do great work with their backup cameras compared to Ford and definitely Dodge. Put it back in a park and we're right back again. Now with the AC controls, easy to figure out. You got your climate over here, just the temperature, and then the other ring is gonna be for your blower fan switch. Obviously, if you go higher up the trim, you'll have dual climate control. This is going to control that all new 10-speed automatic. I do like the way they bring the Camaro name and some racing stripes there. The rest of this hard plastic is just terrible. You do have a mode selector switch to go through the different modes, and I'll show you that on the business end. You have a 12 volt, and I wish they would have put this down here, because if you have running a radar detector, which I highly recommend, you're gonna have a wire that goes from the windshield all the way to here. 2 cup holders, pretty much boring on the key fob. Flip it around, you do have remote start, which is a nice touch. Semi-soft on the armrest. Open this up, you might be able to put 2 Twinkies in there, that's it, but you do have 2 USBs, so that's the good news. And this being your base trim, has your standard cloth interior. Good news is it's very durable. Bad news is it's kind of plain Jane, but compared to the competition, this is what you're looking at. But you are getting electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And even though it may seem like you're sitting in a bathtub a little bit, you do got plenty of headroom to put on a helmet for that track day, or to the drag strip, or to the autocross track. But why don't you come over here, because guess what? I got a leather wrapped SS steering wheel I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time. Like I said, you do have power seat controls over here. Other than that, everything is plain Jane, so there's not a lot to show you. What I can show you, though, is this nice leather wrapped steering wheel. I like the way it says Camaro rather than the Chevy bow tie. Let you know that you're in something a little special compared to the rest of the lineup. Flat bottom steering wheel, and I'm so glad that they brought SS, that bright red, to the bottom of the steering wheel. Leather. You do have paddles to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. And then the dash is a little mixed bag of some analog and some digital. So you have a nice 7-inch digital display with all your instrumentation, and then you're gonna have an analog tach, analog speedometer. The rest is easy peasy, easy to go. I'm not getting in the back seat, because guess what? This does have the smallest back seat if you're comparing it to the other two. And trunk, we're not showing you because you could only put 1 loaf of bread. It's 9 cubic feet of space. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our Camaro SS. All right, guys, we left Reeves Subaru. We're in this 2019 Camaro SS. Time for some on throttle from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Smoke them if you got them. Wow! I tell you right now, you are not gonna be missing any power. 455 horsepower in this 6.2 liter V8. I tell you, it really is a great classic muscle car experience when it comes to that engine setup. Getting the power to the ground is going to be a little bit of a challenge, obviously, but you know, you do get the different gearing in the Camaro SS. Visibility, I've gotten very used to it, and I think if you just use your mirrors and everything, it's not that big of a deal over time. When you first get in, yeah, it seems like you're really sitting down low in this vehicle, which you are. I mean, the openings are not very tall. But going SS, you're getting some nice appointments like the leather steering wheel, like the power seats for both the passenger and the driver. If you spend a little bit more, you could get a lot more tech, different seats, even go SS 1LE, and then you're looking at Recaros and a bunch of other goodies, even bigger brakes than what you have with the standard SS setup. Seats, even though they're cloth, they're actually very comfortable. And to pick a winner in comfort when it comes to seats, I think it's all pretty much the same, at least when it comes to the cloth seats. Whether you go Mustang, Challenger, or Camaro, it feels really good in here. The 10-speed automatic, if you're not wanting to road through your own gears, just like in the Mustang GT, is very, very fast. I guess that would be one thing between the Challenger and the other two, is that it's got 2 less gears in the automatic gearbox. But you can option a manual in all of them, which is good news. All right, guys, we're gonna go on throttle again. I'm actually gonna put in manual shift mode, 2nd gear. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! Nice pop out of that exhaust. And that's the thing, is when you go SS, you're getting the better brakes, you're getting more horsepower, but you're also getting better handling qualities. Coming out of this right-hand bend. Yeah! It really does put a great smile on your face.
and it really is super nimble. You know, a lot of people want to call these sports cars. I don't consider them sports cars. They're definitely performance cars, but the Camaro out of the bunch is gonna be the most sports car feel, put it that way, because it is smaller, especially front to rear. Front to rear, it really does behave very, very well, and the steering input is very direct. All right, guys, I want to get us back out on the highway. Let's stretch her legs in this Camaro SS because it's such a flexible V8. And what I mean by that is that whether you're cruising, whether you're at the drag strip, whether you're on the highway, it just behaves so well and really shifts super smooth, allows that power to be transferred to the rear wheels very effectively. But while we go ahead, let's go on throttle one last time here. On throttle, here we go. So it just, I'm telling you, it just drops down to the right gear and you're off and running. And what's nice is you're getting a nice loud pop and crackle and snap from the exhaust. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Really nice, really precise shift there. Cuts the power, you can hear a little bit of a pop, and then on the downshift, same exact story. But hoping this gave you a nice overall view of this Chevy Camaro. We're gonna get back to Reeves Subaru and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Reeves Subaru. I definitely want to thank LD and the rest of the crew getting us access to this freshly traded in 2019 Camaro SS. I think it's going to be interesting to see down the road what happens with this particular model year. Like I said, being a 1 year only with this front fascia. Going to also be interesting to see what you think about this being that value price muscle car. Does this bring the most performance for your hard-earned money, whether you're buying new or whether you're buying pre-owned? Let me know in the comment section which way you going, Mustang, Challenger, or Camaro. No, don't put anything else. Those are the three I want you to focus on. But if you want to keep seeing performance cars like these on Raity's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the first link, become a Raity's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Raity's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's out here putting up with a lot of nonsense. So definitely show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.